Level 1. The Skywarn Spotter. Ground Observer. Your tornado chasing story doesn't start with an armored jeep or a high-speed pursuit at 100 miles per hour to 160 kilometers per hour. It starts on the front porch of your own home in Kansas or Oklahoma. You are a certified spotter for the U.S. National Weather Service Skywarn program. You took a free 2-hour training course where they taught you how to distinguish harmless clouds from a developing funnel. Your gear consists of a pair of binoculars, a ham radio, and a cell phone. You don't drive toward the storm. You simply wait for the storm to come to your county. Radars can show rotation up in the clouds, but only the human eye can confirm whether a funnel has actually touched the ground. When the sky turns a sickly green and the wind suddenly dies down, you don't hide in the basement like your neighbors. You grab your radio and report the exact coordinates of the approaching threat to the From society's perspective, you just look like a local enthusiast who watches way too much of the Weather Channel. Your family doesn't understand why you're standing in the pouring rain instead of sitting somewhere safe, but your real value to society is absolutely critical. It is your call to the weather service that triggers the tornado sirens in your town. You give people those vital 15 minutes to get down into their shelters before the wind starts ripping off roofs. Without tens of thousands of volunteers exactly like you, the radars would be blind near the ground. Think about this. If you saw a tornado forming just half a mile, 1 kilometer from your house, would you stay long enough to radio the exact coordinates, knowing every second counts, and you need to run for your life too? Level 2. The Amateur Weekend Chaser. You got completely tired of just watching storms from your porch. You want to be exactly where everything begins. You have no corporate sponsors and no professional gear. You just hop into your standard Toyota or Ford after work, boot up a basic radar app on your smartphone, and drive straight toward the squall line. This is the most dangerous level because your enthusiasm drastically exceeds your knowledge. You frequently make classic rookie mistakes, like driving straight into the bear's cage, the core of the storm, with zero visibility due to blinding rain. Your car gets mercilessly hammered by golf ball-sized hail, shattering your windshield to pieces. You get stuck on washed-out dirt roads in the middle of cornfields, while lightning strikes 300 feet to 100 meters away from you. From the perspective of professional storm chasers, you are the biggest problem on the road. People like you create massive traffic jams on highways during public evacuations, blocking emergency response vehicles. But your reckless passion has an unexpected social value. You film everything on your smartphone and instantly upload it to social media. Your shaky, blurry footage often becomes the very first real video evidence of the destruction. You unknowingly act as a hyper-local journalist in places where news crews haven't even arrived yet. If you were stuck on a dirt road, your windshield completely destroyed by hail, and a black funnel was rapidly growing in your rearview mirror, would you panic, or could you calmly find an escape route? Level 3. The Tour Guide. Extreme Driver. Storm chasing has evolved from a hobby into a business for you. You're a professional guide who drives thrill seekers straight into the heart of Tornado Alley. Every spring, tourists from all over the world pay you $3,000 for a week in your reinforced minivan. They want to see a tornado with their own eyes, and your job is to get them close enough for a beautiful photo, but far enough away so that everyone stays alive. You aren't just responsible for your own life, but for the lives of 6 passengers in the back seats. You are constantly balancing on a thin line between your client's desire for adrenaline and basic safety protocols. When the tourists yell at you to get closer, you must have the iron will to say that you're turning around because you can see the storm shifting direction. From the perspective of the local population, you look like a crazy businessman profiting off natural disasters. When farmers lose their crops and their homes, your clients are happily snapping photos against the backdrop of their ruined lives. This creates a massive moral dilemma in your profession. But your social value is hidden somewhere else. Your tours inject hundreds of thousands of dollars into the economies of small Midwestern towns. You stay in local motels, fill up your van at rural gas stations, and feed your tourists in roadside diners that literally survive on the storm season. You bring money to the exact places where nature usually only takes it away. What would you choose? Risk your clients' lives for the perfect shot that would make your company famous, or retreat to a safe zone and listen to them complain about a ruined vacation? By the way, while we wait for the next tornado to form, I need to tell you something incredibly important. The YouTube algorithm works exactly like a weather radar. It only picks up activity that shines brightly. Every like, comment, and subscription you leave is a direct signal to the algorithm that this video needs to be shown to thousands of other people. Without your active support, this channel will simply vanish into the massive feed of content like a cloud in a clear sky. Do it right now. Hit subscribe and tell me in the comments, would you actually risk your own money to go on a tour like this? Now let's elevate the threat level. Level 4. The Stringer Professional Interceptor. Now you aren't hunting for adrenaline or cheap thrills for tourists. You're hunting for exclusive content. You are an independent stringer, a freelance cameraman who sells footage of destructive storms to national news networks. Your SUV is your fortress and your office. It's wrapped in a custom metal roll cage. Heavy hail guards cover the windows, and the roof is loaded with anemometers to measure wind speed and massive communication antennas. Inside, your vehicle looks like an airplane cockpit. 5 radar screens, GPS trackers, and police radio scanners. You have to be the first one to reach the tornado, capture the most terrifying high-quality 4K footage, and transmit it to the network before your competitors do. Your job is pure, pragmatic calculation. You read weather models better than some meteorologists, predicting exactly where the warm and cold fronts will collide. From the outside, you look like a cynical vulture. People often accuse you of making a living off other people's misery, filming as the wind tears down houses and flips over trucks. But your real benefit to society is massive and undeniable. News networks use your live streams to show viewers the exact location of the tornado in real time. When the studio anchor screams that a twister is crossing Highway 80 and to take cover, immediately, they are doing it because they are watching your camera feed. Your footage literally saves lives by visualizing the threat for people who ignore the sirens. Your footage literally saves lives by visualizing the threat for people who ignore the sirens. If you captured exclusive footage of an EF4 tornado, but right in front of you the wind flipped a car with a family inside, would you drop your camera and lose thousands of dollars to run into the debris field and help them? Level 5. The Research Scientist. Mobile Radar. You don't sell videos to TV networks, and you don't seek fame on social media. Your ultimate goal is to understand the physics of the monster itself. You are the lead meteorologist of a scientific expedition, funded by a university or a massive government grant. Your transport isn't an SUV, it's a multi-ton Doppler on wheels truck with a giant radar dish mounted on the back. Your team consists of engineers, atmospheric physicists, and dedicated graduate students. You aren't just trying to shoot a pretty video. You are deploying dozens of portable weather stations directly in the path of the oncoming tornado. Your mission is to scan the funnel just a few feet off the ground to measure the exact wind speeds and violent pressure drops inside the vortex itself. It's an incredibly complex game of cat and mouse. You have to drive within 2 miles to 3 kilometers of the tornado, deploy the radar, lock in the data, and pack up all the gear before the wind flips your massive truck. From society's perspective, you look like an obsessed academic, risking your life for boring numbers on a laptop screen. Ordinary people don't understand why you spend millions of dollars studying the wind when you can't stop the tornado anyway. But your social value is the foundation of future safety for all of humanity. The data you collect by risking your life is used to update building codes across the entire country. Thanks to your research, engineers understand. Thanks to your research, engineers understand how to reinforce the roofs of schools and hospitals so they can withstand winds of 200 miles per hour to 320 kilometers per hour. You also help improve prediction algorithms, increasing the public warning time from a mere 5 minutes to a life-saving 20 minutes. Imagine your radar is fully deployed. The tornado rapidly shifts course directly toward you, and you have a choice. Abandon $1 million piece of equipment and run, or risk your team's lives trying to pack it up in time. What would you do? Level 6. The Tank Driver Extreme Interceptor. Forget about maintaining a safe distance, scientific caution, and basic common sense. You are the elite, the absolute lunatic of the storm world. Your vehicle is not an SUV. It is a 14,000-pound minus 6,300-kilogram armored tank built in a garage. These machines are known as TIVs, Tornado Intercept Vehicles, or Dominators. They are heavily plated with ballistic steel, equipped with bulletproof glass, and feature a specialized hydraulic system. When you pull up to a massive tornado, your vehicle literally drops down on its belly, and steel spikes drive deep into the asphalt or dirt, anchoring the machine permanently to the ground. Because your goal isn't to outrun the tornado. Your goal is to drive directly inside it. You sit inside a metal capsule while 250 miles per hour to 400 km per hour winds rage outside. Uprooted trees, chunks of roofs, and entire cars are flying through the air, smashing into your armor like artillery shells. The noise inside is so deafening, it feels like standing next to a running Boeing jet engine. Your ears pop violently from the extreme drop in atmospheric pressure inside the funnel. You are doing what was considered impossible for centuries. You are filming the inside of an EF5 tornado using IMAX cameras protected by thick layers of Lexan. From the outside, You look like a man who has completely lost his instinct for such. Many meteorologists consider you a reckless showman whose stunts will inevitably end in tragedy. But your unique social benefit is gathering the rarest visual data on Earth that absolutely cannot be obtained any other way. You show the world the true face of absolute destructive power. Your documentaries and ground-level wind data give engineers information that no remote radar could ever collect. You literally stare the monster in the eyes and force it to blink. Here's your final question. If you were sitting in your anchored armored vehicle and an unprecedented tornado capable of ripping asphalt off the road was bearing down on you, and you heard the steel of your machine starting to crack, would you regret going this far? Or would you accept this ending as a true chaser? Author's brief. You just walked the path from a spotter with binoculars to the driver of an armored tank inside a tornado. 6 levels showing just how much people are willing to risk for science, adrenaline, and saving other lives. The culture of storm chasing is a uniquely American phenomenon, born in the harsh environment of the Great Plains. Now here are a few facts about tornadoes you need to know. The United States experiences more tornadoes than any other country in the world, averaging around 1,200 twisters every single year. Most of them form in a region known as Tornado Alley, which stretches across Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Nebraska. Tornado intensity is measured on the enhanced Fujita scale, from the weakest EFO to the catastrophic EF5, where wind speeds exceed 200 miles per hour to 320 kilometers per hour. The deadliest tornado in U.S. history is the Tri-State Tornado of 1925, which carved a path through Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana, claiming the lives of 695 people. The widest tornado ever recorded occurred in El Reno, Oklahoma. In 2013, its width reached a staggering 2.6 miles to 4.2 kilometers across. It was during this exact El Reno storm that the legendary TwistX research team led by scientist Tim Samaras tragically died, a harsh reminder that nature never forgives mistakes, even from the most experienced professionals. The Skywarn program was officially established in 19... and today it consists of hundreds of thousands of trained volunteers across the US. The 1996 blockbuster movie Twister sparked a massive storm-chasing boom, turning this incredibly dangerous activity into a mainstream fascination. Despite all of our modern satellites and advanced radars, the exact mechanism of why one supercell storm spawns a tornado and another does not remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in meteorology.